Hey folks, this is Mary. Welcome back to my channel. So I just wanted to do a quick little video. I've been using my TWSBI Go for 30 inks 30 days and the piston is getting really stiff. So I wasn't intending to take it apart yet and grease it because I've done it once before. Well, that's a whole separate story, but I had to take my pen apart at some point and it was traumatizing at the time. So I didn't want to do it just yet, but since the piston was stiff, I wasn't letting the spring pull the piston in and out. I was actually manually pulling the piston in and out, which is probably not good, and that means I need to grease it. And while I was doing this in the sink in the bathroom, this little piece came off the back of the piston and nearly went down the sink drain. So that about gave me a heart attack, and I was like, okay, this is a sign that I just need to get this pen and clean it out and grease it up and all that stuff. And I just noticed there was some water inside here. So when you take your pen apart, it's a great time to really clean out the inside. And I have cleaned this guy out and I got some schmutz off of him, so all that's good. So first of all, I wanted to show you, I couldn't lay my hands on any of my little grippy tools. You know, the Goulet makes the Goulet grip, which is like a little piece of rubber, and Chris Sines sent me some of her lobster bands, and I have just misplaced everything. So, in a pinch, you can use a rubber glove. This is a nitrile glove, I think, but you just need something grippy. You can use a rubber band or anything. So, you just grip the nib gently and pull, and it comes out, and the nib comes off the feed. And actually the back of this was gray, so it definitely had some schmutz on it. So just be careful that you don't lose any pieces or drop them or anything like that. So I just wiped it off with some water. I thought about using some pen cleaner, but I didn't really feel like it was necessary. So I just wiped it off, and now it's shiny metal again. It's all clean. And I rinsed the feed. I just rinsed the feed under some water. Again, I didn't use any pen cleaner. And, you know, just be gentle. Just remember that these are delicate pen parts. Go slow and be careful. And don't leave any fuzz on the feed. Because sometimes when you rub it, or I know when I rub it, with a paper towel or something, you get little fuzzies on the feed. So when you put the pen back together, make sure there aren't any fuzzies. Like, can you see that? Can you see that little fuzzy? Where is it? Right there? There's a little fuzzy right there. So don't leave any fuzzies on your feed, because, you know, I'm sure they would gum stuff up if you left little bits of fluff inside your pen. Okay. So there's a little groove right here. Oh, and my broken nail is even more broken, but I'll explain that in a minute. But there's a little groove right here, and that's where your nib fits. And there's nothing holding it on. They call it friction fit. Just the pressure of being inside the pen holds it on. But there is this little squared out piece where the nib fits. So that just goes on there. And then you slide it back in the pen. And I think this only goes one way. So you push it in and you gently turn it until it's seated all the way in. And just, I like to grip here. The little fins here can be delicate. You can break them, so be gentle. But this flat part of the feed right here, I feel like that's nice and sturdy. So once I've got it in the hole, I just grip that and I push. And you want to get it in there nice and tight, and it should feel snug in the hole. Okay, so let's tackle the next part of the pen. This is the part that really freaked me out. So I've already taken it apart, so we're just going to do reverse assembly. Here is some silicone grease. This comes with pretty much any pen except the TWSBI Go. So if you have an Eco, you get this. A Diamond 580. I think all their pens come with it except for the Go. So I just borrowed that from one of my other pens. And here is the piston. And you want to put a teeny little bit of grease, silicone grease, on this rubber piston, and it just takes a dab. We're not soaking it. And can you see there? I've got a little bit on there. And I'm just gonna spread it around because a little goes a long way. Less is more. And close that back up. And I'm just gonna gently, do I have a clean finger? I just have ink everywhere. I'm just gonna gently run it around my finger. And now there is a light coating of silicone grease. You see how it's shiny? A light coating of silicone grease on the piston. And that's all you need. It shouldn't be dripping, there shouldn't be blobs of it, just a thin film. Kind of like in cooking, if you're familiar with cooking in a pan, sometimes you put oil in the pan and then you wipe it out and it looks like there's no oil left, but there's a thin film and that's all you need. Okay, so here is your pen and your nib. You're going to put the piston in the back and it should move smoothly. Okay. And then this little metal piece, you see how it has little grooves in it? That's how I broke my fingernail, trying to get into those grooves. So it goes on the pen with the groove side towards you. Can we see that? Where's the grooves? Okay, see the groove? The groove is on the outside. And then you just gently turn it, screw it in, so it holds the piston in place. Okay, and it should be flush with the pen, and you kind of stick your fingernail in there to turn it. Can we see that? And that's how I broke my fingernail. I had my fingernail down in there, in that groove, trying to unscrew it. And I eventually got a little screwdriver to unscrew it. But here's my letter opener. My letter opener fits in there too. So I can just very gently, you don't want to break anything or scratch anything, just very gently give it a little turn. And of course you don't want to get it in there so tight that you have trouble getting it out next time. Okay? Now, I just realized I don't have my spring, so let me go find the spring and I will be right back. Okay, so here's the spring, and it has these two little metal pieces that fit on each end, and they just, stick on there. There's nothing holding them on other than pressure. So if they come off, don't freak out, but make sure you don't drop them down the sink because you do need them. So they just pop on, and the spring is the same on both sides, so it doesn't matter which end you put on the pen. So then you just load it on. You kind of have to twist it to get it past the threads here. So just give it a twist and a push. And then another tricky part is getting this little guy back on the pen. So you're going to hold the spring down. And the trick that really got me before was, it's righty-tighty and lefty-loosey. This is the opposite of that. So you turn it left to tighten it. So I am going to the left. I am going towards myself. And again, you want to tighten it snugly, but don't make it so tight that you can't ever get it off again. So just nice and snug. And there we go. Our Go is back in working order. And that's it. Just put this sucker back together. And we are ready for another day's inking for 30 inks, 30 days. So I hope this was helpful. And if you enjoyed this, don't forget to subscribe. And I will see you for tomorrow's ink. Take care. Bye-bye.